This is J. Krishnamurti's third discussion with students in Paris, 1969.
Did we settle that question which we were talking about the last time that we met here? The question was, if I remember, what is one to do faced with this outward disorder, which is supposed to be very highly moral, and also with the disorder, disturbance, uncertainties within oneself. Knowing all this, both the outer and the inner, we asked, what should one do? How should one act? And I think we never answered that question, did we? Or we wandered off fishing in other ponds. So shall we discuss that a little more? I think it is fairly obvious right throughout the world, in India, in Europe, and in America, and even in Russia, there is considerable disorder, political, economic, social upheavals, student revolt, you know all that as well as I do. And there is considerable disorder, confusion within oneself. And the outer is the product of the inner. I think that's too is clear. The outer, the world, the political chicanery, the divisions of people, classes, races, and also the inward fragmentation of ourselves has produced the outer breakup. So we have to deal, when we ask this question, what is one to do confronted with this issue? Where shall we begin, with the outer or with the inner? Shall we bring about outer order, change establishments, change bureaucracies, not have any nationalities or religious groups, that is the outer economic conditions and so on, or shall we begin from within? Where do we lay the emphasis? Huh?
Inward.
You say inward. Why?
Because the exterior is the product of the inward confusion and disorder.
Say the outer is the product of the inner disorder.
As a whole.
That's better, isn't it? One has to deal with not only the outer and the inner. You can't say, well, I will disregard the outer and only be concerned with the inner. And to understand the outer, or rather to understand the inner, one must begin with the outer. No? From the outer work in, and then again work out. It's like a tide going in and out all the time. And that's the only action, right? Not the outer and the inner, begin with the inner to transform the outer, or be concerned only with the outer, then the inner would be all right. Which seems to me rather fallacious. We took both the outer and the inner as a movement, not as a static states, as a movement which is always flowing from the outer to the inner and the inner to the outer, right? It's a movement, a constant flowing in and flowing out. Knowing this movement is bringing about such disorder, right? Such confusion. What is a man or a young man, or what is a human being to do? I think that must be a tremendous problem, isn't it? If you're at all serious. What am I to do, knowing this fact, that the world is me and I am the world? To transform the world, which is so necessary, I must also transform myself. Right? And there must be a corresponding outward action with my inward revolution. And so, what am I to do? What is one to do? Does this interest you? Shall we go into it? Yes? First of all, who can tell us what to do? The specialists, the professors, the politicians, the priests, the philosophers, the analysts, which is the authorities. And they have told us 10,000 years what to do. Do this, don't do that, this right action, that's wrong action, pray, don't pray, become a communist, not communist, join this, join that, you know. They have told us all the time. And if we rely on the authority of any kind, obviously we shall be still more confused, right? No? So where shall we look for guidance? Or where shall we look to find out what is the right thing to do amidst this ocean of confusion? Within oneself, madam? Huh? Can one trust oneself? Because oneself is the product of the outer. No? You see, please, sir, this is your problem, not my problem. What am I to do? What is this?
One inside is the product of the outside, it is right, but also the way how one reacts toward external problems is conditioned by our inner self.
Yes, sir, and that is, the outer conditions the inner, and the inner conditions the outer. And being conditioned in oneself, what is one to do? Become aware of both the outer and the inner. Let's go slowly into this, please. Don't let's throw out suggestions. You'll have your suggestion, I'll have my suggestion, your opinion against my opinion. That's no value. And if we discard authority, right? Totally. Not the policeman, I don't mean the policeman. I don't mean law. But the idea that one can find or understand or be told by someone what to do, if we discard that kind of authority altogether, right? And one must, then where are we? I don't know if we must go step by step into it, otherwise we'll get lost.
You're completely alone.
Completely alone. Have you thrown away all the authority? Or is that merely a suggestion? Look, sir, this is, unless we talk seriously or not at all. If it is, to talk seriously, one must have both fun, and go into it very deeply. If you have no authority of another to tell you what to do amidst this confusion, then where are we? Where are you?
We confront the problem.
Huh?
We confront the problem.
What is the problem?
The total, what is me, the divided me, and the disturbed.
No, sir, what is the problem? What is actually the problem? No, please see, sir, before we had the authority, right, of the priest, the government, the spiritual, all that, telling me or you what to do inwardly. Behave this way, think this way, act this way, believe this, and so on. Having if one does, discarding all that, if you discard it, where are you? Begin from there, and then we'll proceed slowly. Come on, Vera. Then what happens? Huh?
Chaos. Chaos.
A chaos?
The beginning of life.
Beginning of life.
All start with the chaos.
Now, look, madam, listen. No, if you don't mind my saying so, you haven't listened properly. We are talking, not throwing away the police authority, right? the government authority, the authority of the law, but we're talking of the psychological authority, which has created the outer. Because we are in disorder, we are do things not true. We are deceptive inwardly, we create the thing outwardly. Now if I discard inwardly all authority, which I must, then where am I? If you say you are in chaos, we are in chaos anyhow, now. Because we have accepted 10 different authorities. So there are 10 different leaders pulling us in 10 different directions. And so inwardly we are terribly chaotic. We can't make it worse than what we are. So, when one has no authority psychologically, inwardly, what takes place? Knowing that because one has followed somebody, we are in mess. If we have not followed anybody, perhaps we shall have little more light, little more understanding for ourselves. Right? Probably you don't accept this. What happens, sirs? Please, let's work together at this problem.
On ne peut pas répondre à ce qui se passerait s'il n'y avait pas d'autorité, étant donné qu'on répond en obéissant à une autorité.
Mais, sir, look, has not the so-called spiritual authority in the world brought about inward disorder, confusion? No?
Si on n'écoute pas les autorités, les problèmes deviennent moins nombreux et plus simples. Où il n'y a pas de problème.
No, sir. No, you know, it's a little more complex than that, isn't it?
And let's put the authority with the conclusion and run a process.
Sir, all right, let's leave for the moment authority because I see you don't.
No, I didn't mean that. You're left with the confusion, of
There is uncertainty, right?
yeah.
Let's take that. There's uncertainty in people, in human beings. What will they do in that state of uncertainty? How can they act? Become a communist, become a socialist, join this religious group or that group when they themselves are uncertain? When one is confused, whatever one does is confusion. No?
Try different things, you
Beg pardon?
try different things.
You try different things. Has one time to try different things? Huh?
No, a problem will come up that needs immediate action.
So you can't try. You can't say, well, 1 year I'll be a communist, next year I'll be a Catholic, third year I'll be a Protestant, fifth year I'll be a Hindu and a Buddhist and a socialist. By that time I'm dead.
He has to find out in himself.
peu comme un enfant, comme l'état de l'enfance.
Alors, our children,
Non, je regarde comme un enfant.
so first do it and see what happens. You're always talking in theories.
One should try to do as the honest conscience inside personal.
Yes, yes,
And in the type, no matter if one commit mistake.
Yes, try honestly. Now, what does honesty mean? So go into it a little bit. Honest implies a standard.
Well, yes.
Yes. If I have no standard at all,
There are some things from which one has no certainty. But even though one should seek to try to be still without bias and to decide how to act or how to consider.
so look, I'm confused. I've been honest, sincere, according to my pattern, according to my standard. I have had principles, I've had beliefs, and I say I must live honestly according to that belief. But I see all that is dishonesty. No? So I can't be honest or sincere. I don't know what that means. So you see, let's begin. I am confused. What shall I do? Any action I do will be confused, right? Any leader I choose out of that confusion. Therefore, I will choose a leader who is equally confused. No? Because I'm confused. So, can I clear up this confusion within myself? Then whatever I do is right. I don't have to have honest or sincere or true, because I am not confused. Whatever I do will be clear. Right? No? Now, can I clear up this confusion? No?
The I is a part of the confusion.
One moment, I understand. But I'm just beginning slowly. Let's begin slowly. I'm confused. And whatever I do will bring about further confusion. Right? Please, let's be quite sure of this. So my first job is to ask myself, can I clear this confusion? Right? So I ask myself, how does this confusion arise? Why am I uncertain? Right? Why don't I think very, very clearly? Why have I this contradictory pulls? Pulled in one direction one day, another direction that way, right? I am violent, I am peaceful, I want to love, I am jealous, I hate. So how has this arisen, this confusion? No? How do you think it has arisen?
Because I don't make the difference between what is pulling me and myself. What I am.
So, look, what's your answer? You, for yourself, when you know you are confused, and you say, why am I confused? Right? What is your answer? It can't be a guesswork. You understand what I mean, guesswork? Can't be a supposition. It must be true. Like finding a cause, the finding of a cause can't be according to you or to me, it's a cause. You understand what I'm doing? Or am I going too fast?
I think I'm confused because I'm made confused. Because all other people used to think about me.
So your confusion is brought about by others.
Yes, and now I can't think when
Yes,
I'm
yes, yes. Your confusion is brought about by people. That is by your environment.
Yes, and authority.
Yes, by your environment, which includes authority, literature, propaganda, the priest, the god, the savior, the nation, that's the environment. The social, cultural, political, and economic. And that has brought you confusion. Is that it? Can you live without environment? So that it doesn't touch you, so that you remain pure? Aren't you the environment? Obviously. So you can't say it's your fault. Right? And that would be nice to say it's your fault, but the fact is not. So, I'm confused. Why am I confused? It isn't the fault of others.
I think it is because I always wanted something from
No,
my environment.
go slowly, madam. It's not quite. Go slow, step by step. Pazienza.
Because we are uncertain.
Are you uncertain and that's why you are confused? Huh? Or you are frightened of being uncertain and therefore fear is causing chaos. Do please look at it carefully. Not uncertainty. Not uncertainty, but fear of being uncertain.
Se poser la question pourquoi, c'est chercher une réponse pour sortir de la confusion qui n'est pas confortable.
No, sir, I understand that. But we're asking, why does this confusion exist in me and in you? Why are we confused? What's the cause of it?
Obviously don't know.
You don't know? Good. At last, a straight answer.
Because from the beginning, I grew up in this world, and I find myself in this world how it is.
Yes, that's right. So I really don't know. Right? I don't know why I'm confused. Is that right, sir? Then what am I to do? How am I to find out the cause of confusion or the causes of confusion and push them all away? so that my mind is clear. And whatever I do is right. Don't you know why the confusion arises? May I go into it a little bit? Confusion exists as long as there is choice. No? Right?
Is it vice versa?
Or, because I have choice, there is confusion. The same thing.
Now, because I have confusion, there is choice. Is it right?
Yes, yes, put it, I mean, the same thing. So I have the capacity to choose between this, that, and the other. Therefore, choice breeds confusion, which means a clear mind has no choice. It sees, and therefore there's no confusion. Right? Right? Don't accept it, please. This is not a logical conclusion. I'm not a specialist. Thank God. So I see wherever there is choice, there must be confusion. Right? And why do I choose? What is there to choose? Oh, madam? What? No. Why do I choose? No, madam. No. Why do I choose?
Because there are many ways how to behave and act.
We come to action presently, but before I act, why do I have to choose?
Because one thing is better than the other.
Is it?
I choose because I'm confused, and I'm confused.
Wait, sir, no. I said I'm confused, and confusion arises out of choice. I say, why do I have to choose? Wait, sir, look. Why do I have to? I choose between two colors, between two circumstances. But is there a choice at all in facts? Right? No? I'm angry. That's a fact. And if I say I must not be angry, which is non-fact, then I have to say, who will help me to get over my anger? Then I enter into the field of choice. I don't know if you're following on. But if I'm only faced with the fact that there is anger, the fact, then there is no choice. Say, for instance, man is violent. That can be accepted as granted. And he has chosen the ideal of non-violence. Right? An ideal which is non-fact. And there are a dozen people who will tell you how to become non-violent. So you have to choose amongst all those dozen people become non-violent. Therefore, you are confused. But if you are faced with the fact that you are violent, you follow? Then there is no choice. I wonder if you meet on this. So, the non-facing of fact produces confusion. I can't face myself being violent. I like to pretend I'm becoming non-violent. And it is this pretension to be something rather than what is the cause of confusion. Right? Huh?
Are you good? Are you good?
Are you good?
Are you good? Who is going to tell me?
You prefer European clothes or Indian clothes?
Do you prefer European clothes or Indian clothes?
Oh la la, do I prefer Indian clothes or European clothes? I've got, wherever I am, I prefer the clothes that I'm in. India, that's all right here. Leave that, sir. That's not important. Please, let's get to this. So why is it that I can't face facts in myself and remain with the fact, not escape from it, into ideals, into this and I should be, I should not be, I must be better. You follow? All that produces confusion. Right? So why is it that I can't face the fact that I am violent and remain with it? And not pretend I am going to become non-violent. Huh?
Because there's an idea that the non-violent state is better.
Yes. So what does that mean? That all ideologies, all, are factors of confusion. No? No? You're rather surprised, aren't you? So, an idealist brings about confusion. Will you accept that? Which means you must not be idealist. Have no ideals. Is this all too shocking?
Si les idéologies sont un facteur de confusion, veut-il dire que les idées mêmes sont des facteurs de confusion et qu'il faut avoir
No. I don't say I must have no ideals, which becomes another ideal. But I see that confusion comes to a mind that has ideals, because these ideals prevent the observation of the fact. That's all. So one of the causes of confusion is choice, right? One of the factors of confusion is the ideal. No? The other is escape from what is, saying, I am violent, I must not be violent. I must be peaceful, which is an escape from the fact, and therefore productive of confusion. No? So can my mind look at the fact, let's say violence, without any ideals, without any judgment, really face that fact. Right? Which means, have I the enough energy to look at a fact? Before, I use the energy to escape. Right? Escape through ideals, through drink, through every form of amusement, entertainment, spiritual, philosophical, religious entertainment, and not face the fact. Now, if the mind doesn't escape at all, then it has got tremendous energy to face the fact. No? Then I can deal with the fact. Then the different operation takes place. In that there is no confusion. So the mind is completely free from confusion. When it is no longer escaping from any ideals, beliefs, amusements, but faces fact, in which there is no choice. Right? Now, from that, we can say, can there be action of such a kind? Can I act always living with facts and nothing else? Not with hate, you follow? Because that is hate, jealousy is non-fact. The fact is that my wife has left me. Why should I be jealous? You have hit me, that's a fact. Why should I get angry? Which is a reaction, which is not fact. I don't know if you're following all this. So a mind that is living only with fact is never confused. Therefore, such a mind can act. And its action is not productive of confusion and misery. I wonder if you're... Huh? No, don't agree, please. It's not a question of agreement. One has to do it or not do it. So, ideals, utopias, communist ideals, religious ideals, social ideals have brought confusion. Can your mind be free of these ideals? Knowing that they are the cause of confusion. You have your ideal, I have my ideal, somebody else has his ideals. And we are at war with each other. You are a Frenchman, I am a Muslim or something. You follow? So can we be free of ideals? Concepts, I should be that.
It has no meaning to answer this for us.
Quite right, sir. So one has to investigate why one clings to ideals, knowing they are fictitious, knowing they are idiotic, no meaning, why, and yet we hold on to them. Why?
Because we're not pleased with the state we are now.
Come on.
We're not pleased of the state in which we
Therefore,
are.
why, if you are not pleased with the state we are in, why have a state which we invent with which we hope to be pleased? Then I don't like the state I am. I want to find out why.
Because they don't want any longer to be in that state.
So we started out by asking, why are we confused? Which is the same thing as your state. I don't like this state, right? Now what other state would you like? The opposite of that? Which would be an invention and not the fact. The fact is here, right? Why do you say I don't like it? The fact is I have got to be operated tomorrow because I've got cancer. That's a fact. Why should I say, my God, I don't like it? It's, I have to go and do it. Finished. I might die in a minute in the process of it, all right, but it's got to be done. Why should I get emotional about it? Of liking, not liking, all the rest of it. So can I remain with the fact that in the state I am in, though disturbing, I have to understand it. And to understand it, I can't run away from it. Get emotionally worked up. Right?
I would find that easier, but when in human relationship there is a question of hurting the other person, for instance one's elders, it's very hard to act.
She says one can act independent freely, but in relationship it is difficult because you might hurt the other. Right? All right. I'm married. My wife is a Catholic, I am not. If I go to the Protestant church, she'll be hurt. What shall I do? Go to the Catholic Church? I don't believe in either, but say I go there. Huh?
It's better to go to the fields.
But my wife says come to the church. I know, sir, it's not quite so easy. My wife is there nagging me. There's the sexual pleasure, my sexual rights and property rights over her. Don't. It's not just say go to the fields. So what does that mean? I am attached to my wife. I am not free. And so what she tells me I jolly well have got to do. Because I'm frightened if I don't do what she wants me to do or he wants me to do, she mightn't cook my meal. She might nag me. She mightn't sleep with me. She mightn't. She might go to her mother. So I'm more and more attached, more and more dependent. And out of that, there is the feeling, by Jove, I mustn't hurt her. Which is nonsense.
I think that whole marriage is a problem.
And wait. We're not discussing marriage now. And marriage becomes a problem for various reasons. You see, well, I won't go into that, that's quite a different question. Can we remain with the fact alone all the time? Not bear our grudges. I wonder if you're understanding all this, huh? Our memories about the fact, I wish it were different. Put away all that and remain only with the fact. If you do, you will see you are not confused at all. And that requires tremendous discipline, you know.
But if I feel like kicking my neighbor, do I have to do it? I feel like
Come on.
if I feel like kicking my neighbor, should I do it just
If I feel like kicking my neighbor, should I do it? Do it and you'll find out.
Yeah, but maybe you won't react.
Huh?
Maybe you won't react.
Maybe he won't react.
Tom, you.
Depends where you're looking.
No, sir, do please, do give little attention to this. This is still the most important thing if you can discover it for yourself. That is to remain with the fact and not move away from that. I am angry, and that's a fact. Remain with that.
Angriness is emotional.
It doesn't matter whatever it is. Emotion, a sentiment, enthusiasm, a lie, a pretension. That's a fact. I'm pretending. Remain with that. See why you are pretending. Don't say I must not pretend. Then you escape. Then bring in the conflict of confusion. If I say, now why am I pretending, posing? And remain with it. Go into it. And if you like to pretend, pretend. Then there's no problem. But if you say, I must not pretend, then becomes the problem. If I kick my neighbor, I want to kick my neighbor. If I kick, I jolly well know he's going to kick me back. Or I feel, but why do I want to kick? I want to find out. Because he's talking, he's irritating, he's moving, he's chattering, he's smelling, and all the rest of it. Well, I can't. What? I can go away. Why should I kick him? No, that's why it's very important to understand this one simple fact. And if you really understand it, you will see, go into it very deeply, you will find confusion completely comes to an end. Confusion means contradiction, doesn't it? I am bad, I must be good. The must be good is the cause of confusion. I am bad. All right. What does that mean? Bad. Society says I'm bad. Neighbor says I'm bad. What does that word mean? Society says to kill is right. Right? And I don't want to kill. Is that bad? Society says pretend to be peaceful while preparing for war. And I say that's absurd, I won't. Society says you are an evil person. So what do we mean by bad? According to what? Am I bad if I remain with the fact? To say, yes, I am angry, I am violent. And go into it to understand it completely, what violence is. And when I understand it, there is no violence anymore. But if I'm pretending not to be violent or saying I am practicing non-violence, it becomes a pretension and a confusion. Right? Is this clear? Now, can we do this? Not just agree in words. Can we do this in our life all the time? Only the fact and nothing else. If I am afraid, I'm not going to develop courage, which is an escape again. I am afraid. I want to find out what fear means. I want to understand it. I want to go into it. I'm not going to run away. If I am cruel, you follow? I remain all the time with fact and nothing else. Fact being emotion, an idea, a feeling, a reaction, greed, and they're all reactions after all. I remain with them. If I am uncertain, I say, now, why am I uncertain? About what? I want to know. I'm not going to seek certainty, right? I want to know why there is uncertainty.
Sir, is there a difference between staying with and going into?
Same thing, sir.
What do you mean by going into? Does that mean I'm trying to analyze it or give reasons for it?
Look, I'm violent. What I mean by going into is this. I'll show you what I mean. To remain with it means I mustn't condemn it. Because to condemn it is non-fact. Right? The fact is I'm violent. That violence may be inherited from the animal, because we are derived from the apes and all the rest of it, or that violence may be cultivated by the society. Whatever the fact, whatever the theorists say, the fact is human beings are violent. Whether they derived it from the animal or the society here created is irrelevant. Fact remains violent. Now, why is the mind violent? Why are we violent? fear, isn't it? No? A man who is not afraid, psychologically, is not violent. Right? So, what is fear? Why am I afraid?
Desperate search for security.
Desperate search for security. Now, and you say, I am afraid that there might be no security. Therefore, I am frightened. Is that it? Is that it? Part of it. Is there security? What do you mean you don't know? Then there's no fear if you don't know. Is there psychological security? There must be security. House, clothes and food. That's obvious. But we are talking of inward security, that the mind is always seeking. Inward security being in relationship with my property, with my ideas, with people, right? You're following all this, or you're getting tired? So in my relationship, I'm frightened. And that fear arises because I want security. I want permanency. Is there any permanency in anything? No, don't just shake your head and then next minute hold on to the husband. Except in property, even that is, when the bomb is there, even that's becoming rather difficult. Is there any security in any relationship? And if you are seeking security in relationship, is that love? Don't shake your head, please. That's what we want. We want security in relationship. That security we call love. Right? No? No? Everybody's rather silent about it. My wife, I'm secure legally. And psychologically, I put my hooks into her. I'm secure in my relationship. And when she looks at another man, all my security is gone. And I become jealous, angry. Right? So is there any security in relationship? So why am I frightened if there is no security?
The real security is from inside ourselves.
But is there inside yourself secure? Inside yourself are constantly changing. Right? How can you have security in something that's always changing?
That's a part of the mystery of my going on.
What's it?
It's a part of the world in me in the world.
The change is part of my continuity.
No, that's a different question, sir. When you say change is part of my continuity, what is the me? Memories, aren't they? My property, my wife, my book, my memory.
My action too.
What, sir?
My acts.
Which what I act. all that is me, right? Is there anything secure in that me? No, yeah.
Is security a fact?
Security?
Is security a fact?
Yes.
Is security a fact?
It is not a fact. I am seeking security, but it is not a fact. It doesn't exist. So fear makes for uncertainty, no? Which makes for violence. And seeing that human beings, including we, are violent because of fear, can one be free completely of fear, psychologically? So that the mind is never afraid. Go into yourself. And can my mind remain with that fear without running away from it? And how does this fear come? What is the origin of fear? If there is no tomorrow, would you be afraid of tomorrow? Huh? You wouldn't, would you? You would live completely today. Right? Now, how does tomorrow come? Not by the watch, but psychologically, how does tomorrow come?
From yesterday.
Huh?
From yesterday. From yesterday.
From yesterday, all right. Yesterday you had pleasure. It was a happy day. And you thought about it, and you want that happiness repeated tomorrow. Right?
Or I postpone.
Huh?
Or I postpone my not facing the fact.
Yes. Or I project yesterday's pleasure to tomorrow, which I want. And I'm afraid I mightn't have it. Right? So fear begins. Now what brings this about? Doesn't thought bring it about? Thinking about the pleasure I had yesterday and I want to repeat it tomorrow. No? No, sir, come. So thought breeds pleasure and fear. And therefore, one has to understand the whole business of fear, of thought. And you may not, when you've got to that point, you might not have enough energy, you follow? Because you're already tired. So, you know, sir, what meditation is? Do you know? You have heard that word? Huh?
Stop thinking.
Huh?
Stop thinking.
No. Have you heard that word, meditation? Have you ever done have you played with it? You know, you learn a great deal when you play with it. Now we are playing with fear meditatively. right? You know, in India and the whole of East, meditation means sitting in a certain posture, you know, concentrating and all the rest of it. Here we are faced with the fact that the mind is confused, and there is confusion because there is choice. There is choice because, look, watch it, because of ideals. This ideal, that ideal, what should be, what should not be. So there is no confusion when there is only fact. And to understand fact, there must be no fear. Fear cannot just say, go away. It is there. And one sees that fear comes where there is thinking going on, thinking about the pleasure I had yesterday, which I want to repeat it today and tomorrow, and perhaps I might not have it. Therefore, I'm frightened. So thought is the origin of fear, right? So what am I to do? What is the mind to do with thought? Control it? Who is going to control it? Another part of thought.
Examine it.
Huh?
Examine it.
To examine it. Who is going to examine it? Another part of thought. And to examine anything, you must be free, mustn't you? Right? And to be free, it's only in freedom you can look. To look at anything is to examine. If you are not free, you can't look. And so on. So, this requires to go into all this is really very, very arduous. It isn't just a play. It isn't just you do this for a pleasant afternoon. This is life's work. Because unless there is freedom from violence, man is never going to have peace. And therefore there will always be wars. Wars, not only the battlefield, wars between two human beings in relationship. So to eliminate violence, there must be freedom from fear. And freedom from fear is only possible when you understand the whole nature of thought. But most people love thought. You know, all the books, all the education, all the professors, the scientists, the whole Académie Française, and all the rest of it love thought. And so we are saying thought is the origin of fear. And then thought, in the understanding of thought, thought comes to an end, not forcing it by saying I must put it away, that's all rubbish. But understanding it, living with it, and see how thought operates, from where it comes, from memory, why the mind holds on to memories, and so on. Looking at it, investigating it, playing with it, you find out that thought does stop. Then there is fear, is no place at all, therefore no confusion. Now you have heard this. Will you do it? Not tomorrow, but right now, can you do it? Yeah. I think we better stop, don't you? An hour and a half is enough.